Get your pajamas on, you two. No more playing, barked James's mother. It's time for bed. Watch out with that. No horsing around inside the house. How many times do I have to tell you? Now get upstairs, she said as James bumped into a small table trying to dodge his brother's hand. It was late evening, and he was now home after his visit to his grandfather's shop. Missed again, Marcus. You must be getting old, said James mockingly, now heading towards the staircase with Marcus running in close pursuit. I'll get you yet, you little bugger, yelled Marcus, running up the stairs full speed behind him. James, Marcus, how many times do I have to tell you no tag in the house? You'll break something, said their mother, now sounding upset. All right, mother, yelled Marcus down the stairs. I got you cornered now, he said to James menacingly. Now give me that letter or I'm going to tickle you to death. What letter? I have no letter. I have no idea what you're on about, said James, now trying to sound serious but failing miserably. Why you? Said Marcus, now charging at James and pinning him in the corner. I don't have it really, said James through uncontrollably hysterical laughter. All right, I give up. I'll give it to you. Just stop. I can't breathe, said James, now red in the face as he struggled to pull a small piece of folded parchment from his left pocket. There it is, said Marcus with an air of triumph, ripping the paper from James's hand and pushing him hard towards the bed. James now lay on the bed, gasping as Marcus jumped onto his bed, laying on his back and beaming at the letter. Who's it from anyway? Asked James after he had recovered from his brother's tickling attack. What makes you think I'm going to tell you? Said Marcus, examining the letter to make sure it was indeed as promised and not some random parchment. Knowing his sneaky younger brother, this was a strong possibility. Finally deciding it was authentic, he folded the letter and placed it securely back into his pocket, far from his younger brother's reach. Is it from your girlfriend? Asked James mockingly, after observing his brother's strange behavior. Thump! James received a pillow in the face for his comment. No, it's not from my girlfriend, said Marcus with a small grin that said otherwise. So who is she then? Asked James, also sensing the truth. I told you she's not my girlfriend, and why would I tell you anyways? Said Marcus. So it is from a girl, said James. Have you kissed her yet? I bet by next week you'll already have a bunch of ugly little snot-nosed babies, aren't you? Thump! All right, you two, time for bed, said their mother, who had just walked into their room. You're not even in your pajamas like I asked. And why? She said with a look of confusion dawning on her face. Why are all your pillows on James's bed? She asked, turning on Marcus. 'Cause James stole them and won't give them back, quickly lied Marcus. But before his mother could turn on him, James began. That's not true, said James, sounding upset. I didn't take them. He threw them at me, he told his mother, just because I was teasing him, 'cause he has a His words were cut short, however. Marcus, sensing his younger brother was about to disclose his little secret, rose from his bed and with a flash had James writhing under a pillow before he could finish his sentence. Marcus, said his mother, you leave James alone right this instant. Now sounding upset again. Yes, mother, said Marcus, thoroughly put out and sounding disappointed. His mother had stopped him from finishing the job. He then slowly collected his pillows and meandered back to his side of the room, plopping down on his bed. You both behave, and James, stop teasing your brother, she said sternly. Even if he does have a girlfriend, she added, now smiling again. So then, she went on, who is she? She asked, looking at Marcus. It's, he said, sounding very forced, and finally, sounding defeated, he said, Gail, it's Gail. Oh, said his mother, quite amused. Isn't that the little Moxley girl? I have seen her helping her mother at the market. She's a sweet girl, she said approvingly. So how serious are you? Marcus looked a little confused. Serious? He said. What do you mean serious? You know serious, she said. For instance, have you kissed? No, Mom, said Marcus, looking unsettled. We've only held hands, and why do you want to know if we've kissed anyways? That's gross. Well, I just want to make sure my little boy isn't. She paused for a moment. You know, you're too young to have a real girlfriend, she finished stupidly. No, I'm not, said Marcus, taking aback. I'm almost 12. Oh, right. I almost forgot you're all grown up now, aren't you? She said, trying not to laugh. Oh, look at my big old brave little man, she said as she pinched Marcus's cheek. Mom, Marcus said, annoyed. Yeah, some great big little man you are, said James, smirking, all grown up and still getting his little cheeky pinched by his mommy. All right, you two, she said after the laughter subsided. Now it's really time for bed, you hear me? Get your pajamas on, and I'll be back in here in 5 minutes to tuck you in and turn off your lamp. She then turned and walked out. You're going to get it, you little brat, Marcus said, getting up and starting to change. You just wait, he said menacingly. It's your own fault she found out, said James. You should have just told her you threw your pillows at my head, and that would have been that. I would have kept my mouth shut, he said, now starting to change as well. The way I see it, you deserved it. Just shut up, said Marcus, now climbing under the covers. James climbed into his bed and slid under the covers. Their mother came in a few moments later, kissed them both on the head, and blew out the light. Good night, she whispered and walked out, closing the door behind her. James was running. From what, he couldn't tell. He could hear the sound of large feet pounding the dirt behind him. I got to run, I must keep running, he thought to himself, for he knew if he stopped, very bad, very horrible things would happen. He was running through what appeared to be a dark, thick forest. The only light he had was from a large whitish-blue orb overhead. The moon was full and magnificent, casting its bright light onto the forest below. It's getting closer. I must keep running. He was now gasping for air and struggling to keep up his pace. He felt as if he had been running for miles, and he could hear the footsteps getting closer and closer with each passing second. Now it seemed as though it was coming from just feet behind him. Completely out of breath, his pace slowed. The light from the moon was now gone. He could only see large shadows created by the branches overhead, which cast skeletal hands that appeared to be reaching out for him. I can't run any further. Spotting a large tree ahead, he slid off the path and hid behind its trunk. He sat there motionless and scared, with his back pressed against the tree, trying to catch his breath, hoping that whatever was chasing him wouldn't notice him. After a few moments of quietly trying to catch his breath, he heard the footsteps come to a stop next to the tree he was hiding behind. He held his breath in fear, afraid that his heavy breathing would give his location away. James could feel his heart pounding hard in his chest. Moments felt like hours as he waited for his end to come. He saw a large shadow slowly emerge, stop for a moment, and without a sound, the black mass streaked further down the road. James watched as it became one with the darkness in the distance. I'm safe, it's gone, he said under his breath, as he sat there taking in air and feeling as if a large weight had just been lifted from him. After he had regained his breath, he rose to his feet, brushed off the dirt that had stuck to him, turned and headed back the way he came. As he walked slowly back down the trail, he couldn't help but wonder what it was that had just been chasing him. Snap! James turned on the spot. The sound of a snapping twig echoed behind him. He stared into the darkness, searching for a glimpse of what just made the noise. A feeling of fear filled his soul as he stared at the nothingness. The darkness, the blackness, black as the night sky above. Nothing. Wait, for a moment, there was something. James caught a glimmer of light from what appeared to be two yellow orbs. Moments later, a large black figure faded into being right before his eyes. No, he said in fear. No, get away from me. Stay away, he shouted as the blackness faded away into a large, tattered grey wolf. The wolf growls viciously at him, showing every one of its perfectly sharpened teeth, which shone a brilliant white in the light of the moon. Get away, James screamed, but it only made the wolf walk closer. As the wolf approached, James slowly backed away. For every slow, precise step the wolf took, James took one slow, misplaced step back. Step after long, slow step, they did this dance of prey and predator together. James placed his foot on a loose stone, lost his balance and fell back onto the floor.